And actually, now that I see the pivot, I realize I am making somewhat of a mistake by forcing all these adductions into a singular const group. This const group is going to have a point constraint from the respective side. So they should be in their own groups. I don't know why that didn't occur to me immediately, but they should be in their own group. So I am going to go back and change that up there as soon as we're done here. But let's finish this. So I am going to take this adduction, the other adduction, out of here, and I'm going to give it its own group. That means that the name will have an identifier in it. So I'll go const grp. So let me move this to location. And that means I do have to change this name, make it more specific to the right side, call it a const grp. All right. And I do want to make sure that this new group I've given to the left side, I do snap it to location. So now let's give all these groups their home. So I'll start with the triggers. The left triggers will go underneath the humerus over here. So I'll click that and parent them over there. The right triggers will go underneath the right humerus, parent, and a P. And the right adduction will go underneath the chest. So I'll go put it underneath the chest over there, parent. Left adduction also goes underneath the chest, parent. The right humerus abduction goes underneath the scapula, the parent joint of the humerus, and the left one goes on the scapula on the other side, parent. All right, so now that everything is in position, let's get these adjuster joints into position. So let me bring back the model and hit the 4 key. And I'm going to hide my tail because it is getting in the way. All right, so I'm going to go in the front view to do this work because now it's time to position the adjusters. Let me hide my grid so that things don't look so messy. All right, so underneath here, let's deal with the adduction first. So the adduction adjusters need to be rotated to position. So I would put right on the side here. But because I know I'm going to overshoot so that we get our triggering around here, maybe around like there, I'm going to overshoot and go maybe over there, just slightly in like that. So that's 58. Now I'll do the same with the adjuster on the other side. That will be a negative 58. Yeah, that should be good. That's way beyond. All right, so let's move to the goals for our abduction. So I'm going to grab the adjuster and I'm going to rotate it. And also with this side, I'm going to overshoot a little bit. This would be a 90-degree location where we want our full value of 1 to be set for our blend shape. So I'm going to overshoot it since I know I'm going for like a 1.3 there. So that's about 63. And we'll do the same for the other side. Find the adjuster and rotate it to negative 63. So let me go negative 64, just to be on the safe side. Let me go 64 here. All right, so now it's time to do the constraining relationship that's going to allow this entire system to move correctly when this humerus joint is translated, because this humerus joint can be translated. So all I need for that is to grab, let me start with the left side. So I'll grab the humerus joint on the left side, and then I'll grab my const group for the left side right there, and do a constraint, point constraint, maintain offset, apply. Now I can go do the same thing on the other side. I'll grab the shoulder, grab my const group, and go apply. And we need another constraint for the shoulder and the adduction goals. So I'm going to grab my right shoulder, make sure I grab my right adduction goal, go apply, and do the same with my left side. Grab my shoulder, left adduction goal const group, and apply. So now let me test this out, see what it looks like. Trying to make sure that none of these systems break when I rotate the chest. Yes, there's no distance nodes triggering. All right. And then if I was to, with my rotation still active, if I was to grab my controller for the humerus and I start moving it, everything stays intact. The system stays intact. So it doesn't break our triggering system. And that's very important. All right. So all this stuff looks good. And another thing I do want to test is to make sure that when we rotate the scapula on either side, abduction distance locator makes no change whatsoever. All right, so that looks good too. And the same on the other side. It stays put. The one for adduction is fine, that it's moving. And to do a little bit further explanation, the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want, under any circumstances, if I were to do a protraction, and let's just say I end up in some rotated position like this for the scapula, and then I start rotating this, I don't want it to trigger our humerus adduction. At least not all the way. I don't want it to be triggered all the way. Actually, it might not matter now that I think about it. We'll see. If it does, ultimately I can just change the location of the goal, but I think the goal is fine where it's at. I really just want the adduction to happen when the hands are by the side, not when they're out somewhere. So that's why I want that goal locator to stay put. All right, let's finish this setup so I can go fix the shoulder girdle stuff. All right, so let me open my shape editor. All right, and now it's time to break connection for all my adduction and abduction stuff. So basically these four right here. So let me go down here, find them, look for my adduction, one, abduction and adduction, and just break connections, because we don't want those relationships anymore. All right, so time to set up these new relationships. All right, so let's get this left side connected. So I'm going to open my set driven key window, go to set driven keys, load in my blend shape node, load driven, so I have it selected, and want to load in the first distance node. So we're going to do the abduction. I'll hit down to access its shape node, load driver, so we can get access to its distance node. And I'm looking for left delt armpit fix, that one right there. So I want to go to the front view for this because I want to get a better gauge of my angles, and hit the 4 key. And so at this home state, I'm going to set a key. So I should see that light up. And now I'm going to rotate my humerus in one axis. And this is my perfect location where I want it to trigger, right? But I'm going to keep going till I get to my goal. And just like I did with my shoulder girdle, I'm going to overshoot because I've gone way past the actual point where I want this thing to trigger at 1. And so with that overshoot, I'm going to go 1.3 and trigger my delt fix and set a key. All right, so let me hit 5 and test this out. So if I'm at home 0, I have no triggering. And then when I rotate and get to about a 90 degrees, then I have a triggering of about a 1, a little bit more than that, which is fine. All right, this was just to make sure that at least I'm getting a full-blown trigger around my location. Because you're working with distance nodes and it's not perfect to get the locator on top of the other locator, I just want to make sure I'm in the vicinity. So as long as I'm in the vicinity, I have a trigger of 1. And maybe this one is way too much, but it's fine. 1.2, it doesn't look broken, it looks good, right? And when you keep overshooting, you get the 1.3. All right, so let me zero this out. And let's deal with the adduction. Let me make sure I've selected the adduction dimension, hit the down key to access its distance node, load driver, and yes, I have it. Select that and select the armpit fix for adduction. Make sure I set a key, see it light up, and then now move in the opposite direction. Here too, I'm gonna go past my actual trigger point. Yeah, this one is really far. So to be on the safe side, I'm going to overshoot or overdrive my blend shape to about 1.4. So I'm going to grab it, adduction, go 1.4. That triggers it, and I'll set a key. All right, so now let me check it. If I was to bring this back to around the place I wanted to trigger, yeah, it's doing a good job. At around there, I wanted to trigger. It's triggering about a 1, okay, to about a, yeah, it's within that area. I think I might have made a mistake. Going higher, overdriving the value that much might be wrong. Let me undo this. All right, let me start this again. Make sure I have my adduction here, the distance, I have that. I'm going to set a key at 0. Okay, and I just want a 1.3. I don't know why I did 1.4. That just means that it's going to get to 1 a lot later. You would have to keep pushing to get to 1. So I want to be over here and do the same 1.3. That's about a good number. All right, so I go 1.3 and triggers it, and I go key. All right, so go to 5 and go to my location. Yes, at the side of the arm. Well, either works. It looks like it doesn't really matter. I get a 1. She gets her hand on her side. It's fine. I think this is good. 1.5, 1.3 doesn't really matter. As long as her hand goes on her side and we get a nice triggering. Yeah, it works. All right, so both are triggering. And most importantly, when I rotate forward and backward, I have no triggering whatsoever. And if I twist, I have no triggering either. So there goes the solution for the humerus also. So I'm going to pause the video, get the other side done, and then we should be done with this too.